Hello student, today we will discuss a few important question answer. Here is my first question, what is redox reaction? When a magnesium burn in air with a dazzling flame and forms a white ash, is magnesium oxidized or reduced? Why? These are questions. So redox reaction, already we discussed redox, RED is red means reduction, X means oxidation. So any reaction where reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously are called redox reaction. And second part, when a magnesium ribbon burns in air with a dazzling flame and forms white ash, is magnesium oxidized or reduced? So when we burn anything, so oxygen required. So here magnesium react with oxygen. It means magnesium gains oxygen. So we can say magnesium is getting oxidized because oxygen added with magnesium. Because when we burn, then without oxygen, burning is not possible. Our next question is, when you have mixed the solution of lead nitrate and potassium iodide, what was the color of the precipitate formed? Write the valence chemical equation. Is this also a double displacement reaction? So our reaction is here, you can see lead nitrate PbNO3 of 2 added with potassium iodide Ki to form PbI2 lead iodide along with potassium nitrate. So in this reaction, whatever precipitate form, the color of the precipitate is yellow, and here lead iodide is the precipitate. If you notice this reaction, then you can observe that lead displaces here iodine, and iodine displaces here nitrate, or we can say both have exchanges ion. So we can say it is a double displacement reaction. Next question is, what do you mean by exothermic and endothermic reaction? Give example. We have learned that any reaction where heat is evolved is called exothermic reaction, and any reaction where heat is absorbed is called endothermic reaction. So example of exothermic reaction, carbon burn then form carbon dioxide along with heat. So it is a example of exothermic reaction. And next equation is methane is burned in presence of sufficient oxygen to form carbon dioxide, water and heat. So in this reaction also heat produced, so it is also exothermic reaction example. Endothermic reaction, for example, calcium carbonate, if you heat, then it split into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. In this reaction, heat not produces with product, it absorbed by the reactant. Similarly, nitrogen and oxygen, if react in presence of heat, then what form? NO, nitrogen oxide. And in this reaction also, no heat produced. In this reaction, heat require means it absorb, and that is why this reaction is also example of endothermic reaction. Here we are going to discuss another question. Classify the following reaction into different types. First question is, silver nitrate react with sodium chloride to form silver chloride and sodium nitrate. So in this reaction you see from the first compound silver displaces by sodium, and in the second compound in sodium chloride, sodium displaces by silver, so form sodium nitrate and silver chloride. So here you observe that both the compound have exchanged their ion. So it is the example of displacement, but two times displacement taken place, so double displacement reaction. And we know that in double displacement reaction always form a precipitate, which is insoluble substance. So this reaction also you can say precipitation reaction. Second equation, if you see calcium oxide means quick lime if you add with water to form slag lime or lime water or calcium hydroxide. In this reaction, two different reactant add form a single product. So this is the example of combination reaction obviously. Third number, if you see KCiO3 means potassium chlorate is decomposing or breaking down into two different products, potassium chloride and oxygen. And above the arrow you can see one triangle mark. This is heat. So in presence of heat you can split this potassium chlorate into two different products. So it is the example of decomposition reaction. Now B number answer, let's give which of the above reaction is precipitation reaction. Answer is first one. Why precipitation reaction? This reaction called, answer is because it is an insoluble product. Hello students, now let's discuss another question. 37 number question I am going to read. Using a suitable chemical equation, justify that some chemical reaction are determined by number 1 change in color and number 2 change in temperature. So this question means you have to write here two equation. One equation should represent change in color, another equation should represent change in temperature. Here first equation I have written lead nitrate react with potassium iodide to form lead iodide and potassium nitrate. So in this reaction lead nitrate is colorless, potassium iodide is colorless, but lead iodide is a yellow color precipitation. So since here color changes, so we can say chemical reaction takes place. And two number, you can see calcium oxide react with water to form calcium hydroxide and heat. This is a very important reaction. Calcium oxide is a quick lime, react with water to form calcium hydroxide is a slack lime, and along with heat also produced. So in this reaction temperature changes. So change in temperature. 38 number, a solution of a substance X is used for whitewashing. What is the substance X? State the chemical reaction of X with water. We know that calcium oxide when react with water to form calcium hydroxide, and that calcium oxide is used for whitewashing. So X is calcium oxide and the reaction is given here. And number B, why does the color of copper sulfate solution change when an iron nail is dipped in it? So this answer is because it is single displacement reaction. In this reaction, iron is more reactive than copper. That is why iron displaces copper from copper sulfate solution and to form ferrous sulfate and copper. And here iron color is blue, but after that it becomes ferrous sulfate color pale green.